I told my mom this story, she didn't know how I could be so stupid. And looking back, I'm not completely sure why I made the decisions I did that night, but they were not my best. So, a few years back when I was 22, I had been single for a while and decided to try my luck on Tinder. After a week or so, I matched with a guy called Tom. He seemed to be a nice enough guy, so we agreed to meet up at our local movie theater. At the time, I didn't have a car, so my mom agreed to drop me off. But she was also heading out for the night and wouldn't be able to pick me up, so I would have to organize an Uber home. When I arrived, Tom was waiting for me in the front. He was a bit taller than I imagined, with longish, sweeping hair and dark brown eyes. He had a big, beaming smile as I walked up to him, which made me smirk as well. We had that awkward hello moment you have when meeting someone on a date for the first time. We laughed and joked about how nervous we both were before I said, "Should we head in?" Which Tom quickly replied with, "Well, we can go in and see this movie, but I forgot it's one of my best friend's birthdays tonight, and he is having a party at his place down by the lake. Would you like to come with me to his party instead?" I hesitated for a minute as I really just wanted to go and see a movie with him. Going to some lake house with a guy I don't know, to a party with a group of people I don't know, did not sound like a heap of fun for a first date. But I also wanted Tom to enjoy himself and think I was fun and not just some boring girl who doesn't like parties. So I said, "Sure, sounds good." Tom led me to his car. We got in and we started to head toward the lake. I had lived in the area for years, but I hadn't been out to the lake for a long time and had forgotten how dark the woods around the lake got as you headed out of town. Feeling a little uneasy and trying to make conversation, I asked, "So, do you live around here?" "Not far," Tom said, bringing the conversation to a halt. Small talk didn't seem to be Tom's thing. It seemed like we were driving for ages when the road suddenly turned to gravel. Getting even more nervous, I said in a bit of a joking tone, "Wow, it's going to take me forever to get home." Tom laughed and said, "Come on, it's not that far. See those lights up there? That's his house." As he pointed through the front windscreen at what looked like some lights coming from a house through the trees. "We won't stay long and I'll drive you home after," Tom said with a smile on his face, which actually seemed to calm me down a bit. "Okay," I replied, trying to sound upbeat about the situation. We got out of the car and went inside. Tom began saying hi to everyone before he turned to introduce me. I said hi and everyone said hi back. This is when I realized that about 5 or 6 guys were sitting around drinking, but no girls. This made me feel a little uncomfortable. Why would Tom bring me to a party with only guys? It just seemed a bit weird to me. That was until a girl popped her head out from the kitchen and said, "Hi, I'm Chantal." Once again, the fear that had begun to build up in me had began to fade again. "Hi," I said back. "Do you want a drink?" Chantal said. "Sure, why not?" I replied, thinking I needed a little something to calm my nerves. I sat down while Tom socialized with his friends, and Chantal brought me a drink. "Thanks," I said as I took a sip. "Not a problem," she replied. Chantal sat down next to me and began to ask me questions like, "So where are you from? Where did you go to school? What do you do for work?" You know, the usual questions. But it wasn't long, maybe 10 or 15 minutes, before I was finding it hard to follow what Chantal was saying. I started to feel a bit queasy. The room began to spin, and I could feel my arms and legs beginning to feel funny. I stood up and said, "I need to use your bathroom." "Yeah, sure," Chantal said. "Down the back and on the right." "Are you okay?" she asked. "Yeah, fine," I said, trying not to spew on the floor. I walked to the bathroom door and pushed it open. That's when I felt the vomit working its way up from my stomach. Thinking I was going to projectile vomit everywhere, I closed the bathroom door and stumbled to what looked like the back door. Coating the bathroom with vomit on a first date didn't seem like a great idea, so I thought outside was probably a better option. I stumbled down the back stairs and I remember falling onto my hands and knees, but after that, I don't remember a lot at all. I opened my eyes and I could feel my eyes burning from the morning sun finding its way through the trees. I began looking around, trying to figure out where I was and what had happened, or if it was all just a dream. I looked down the hill and I could see the house. I had managed somehow to crawl about 50 feet up a hill into the wooded area. I felt around in my pockets to make sure I had everything. I still had my keys, wallet, and phone, although my phone had no reception. I began trying to think back what had happened. The last thing I could remember was drinking the drink that Chantal had gotten me, and then passing out. Could Chantal have drugged me? But why? All these thoughts racing through my head as I'm trying to gather myself. That's when I heard a voice calling my name. It was Tom. Still not sure what to make of it, I decided to get as low to the ground as possible so that he couldn't see me and slowly pushed myself behind some trees. He called my name again, but this time the way he said it freaked me out. It was the tone he used. It wasn't a concerned tone like he was worried that I was missing, but almost a playful tone, like when you were playing hide and seek. I had already been missing for hours as the sun was coming up. You'd think he would be at least a bit worried. I watched him and waited for him to turn back and head toward the house. Then I decided I didn't want to find out what all this was about and start to head away from the house up the hill. I found the road we came in on, so I walked along it, but just in the tree line, just in case they decided to get in their cars and come and look for me. Eventually, my phone started vibrating. It was all the missed calls I had from my mom wondering where I was. I called her straight away and burst into tears as I explained what had happened. She drove straight out to get me. When we got home, we rang the police and explained what had happened. They went to the house, but no one was there. It turned out it was an Airbnb, and it had been booked under a fake name and a stolen credit card. When I looked on Tinder, Tom's profile was gone. I'm not sure what they were planning that night, but I'm glad I didn't get to find out.